Hi everyone, this is Balazs from RacingBrick. Today's video is pretty different and I'm really excited to finally share it with you. Over the past few months, I launched a search for contributors to help expand the channel. I received an incredible number of applications from all over the world, and after 2 rounds of reviews, I selected a small group of creators whose style and approach I felt matched the RacingBrick philosophy. Today's review is the very first result of that project. Alex is a longtime LEGO fan with a real passion for movie vehicles and interesting building techniques. As you will see, he doesn't just build a set, he also compares it to a real Jeep wearing the iconic Jurassic Park livery, which he happened to own himself. I will let Alex take it from here, and once you watch the video, I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Your feedback will help shape the future of this new chapter for the channel. Enjoy the review.
Hey, I'm Alex, and this will probably be my first time coming to you from RacingBrick. I am very lucky to have been chosen to review this, set number 77984 Jurassic Park Jeep Wrangler, a 1:10 scale, $200 replica of my favourite movie car. A car I made a replica of myself a few years ago. Sign me up. The piece count of 1924 feels like it could be an Easter egg, but I can't think of what that year might refer to in this context. If instead it was 1923, it would be the year Richard Attenborough was born, so I guess we have to figure out which part to remove to make that fit. If you have any better ideas, let me know in the comments. On the front we see the now common stark black 18+ design with the model front and center. The most famous scene featuring this car is in the dark, so it looks right at home here. Notice that the East Dock sign correctly points left, which it did before Nedry crashed into it. On the back there's a gallery of the different versions of the Jeep that we can build, and a close-up on the minifigure and UCS style plaque, which gives us some stats and a fact about Jeep 29. Inside we get 24 numbered plastic bags, a few unlabeled bags with large parts like the windscreen and the tyres, an interesting brown paper envelope which we will open later, and the hefty pack of instructions. Along with the instructions we get a substantial sticker sheet, which is very disappointing to see in such a large and expensive set. I do understand the interchangeable numbers not being printed, but there are 2 identical saddlebag stickers and 2 logos for the doors, and I just know that the circular stickers for the sign are going to be very annoying to apply. The instruction book starts with some lovely high-res screenshots from the film, and some information about where in the film each version appears. We start by building a very strong frame from Technic bricks with an axle running down the center. I love this little detail here which represents the fuel tank on the real vehicle. Bag 3 builds out the steering mechanism, which is facilitated by a rack and pinion connected to these ball joints. However, when moving it to test it out, the whole thing seems to skip and move around in such a way that I thought I had made a mistake. But no, as far as I can tell, this is how it's supposed to be. Very weird. After attaching the front axle, we build this structure, which is a rough kind of implication of the differential pumpkin at the front, just like the fuel tank at the back. This is a fabulous detail, and it shows the designer really cared about the source material. I hope the rest of the car keeps up this level of authenticity. Bag 4 bulks up the structure of the car and has us build this gigantic 16x16 stud base to build the interior onto. After that, we add a universal joint. I haven't seen one of these since I was a kid. I hope they're more durable than the ones from the 90s. Bag 6 starts to build out quite a beautiful mosaic of tiles, which makes up the floor of the car, and the center console, which features this lovely dual molded coffee mug. It also hinges backwards, just like the center console on the real car. However, I'm not sure why it's a cup of coffee. Personally, I would have chosen a soda can. After all, Nedry was gonna go get a soda or something. The cars in the movie were of course equipped with the 5-speed manual, hence 3 lovely pedals in the footwell. A little later we build the actual sticks. 2 in this case. The smaller one at the front is for the transfer case. I like the use of the classic antenna piece because real Jeep gear sticks are thin and have a ball on top with the shift pattern printed on it. The way the front end is built up is quite satisfying. The tapered sides of the hood are on hinges and held in place with studs on either side. The side skirts and fenders at the front use these new cheese slope corners, and they fit against the grille in a way which doesn't allow any movement. The same can't be said for the back though, as all they have to support them are these struts protruding from the body, and it's very easy to catch the back end and snap the whole thing off. The rear light clusters are also only attached by a couple of studs, and I find they come off quite easily when moving the car around. Since it's the one on the front of the box, let's build Jeep number 12 first. This is the car Dennis Nedry stole and attempted to flee in with the stolen dinosaur embryos. That means we have to contend with this enormous sticker sheet. I will give them credit that at least they include enough tiles to stick all the stickers to at once, but the colour matching on the grey is absolutely terrible, and it's especially noticeable on the large number and logo stickers on the hood and the door. For the logo, I would have preferred if they die cut the shape around it, rather than including this enormous square of dark grey. Notice that the Jeep logo below is a little askew. I slipped while applying it. I guess to avoid that, next time they should be printed. Finishing up the windscreen, we build out the roof lights, which make brilliant use of these handbag pieces, appearing in white for the first time. The real props used funky marine searchlights modified to fit on cars, and these Friends handbags are pretty much perfect to represent them. Finally, we open the brown envelope to reveal the cloth soft top. This goes over ball joints on the body and roll bar, and it looks fantastic. The underside is black, which gives a realistic shadowy interior, and having a cloth element honestly looks so much better than brick built. The car itself is now done, but before we take a detailed look at it, there's a side build and an exclusive minifigure to look at. The brick-built sign depicting Isla Nublar is wonderful, and just like the smaller Jeep set from a few years ago, the arrow spins. The requisite frog is in the base, as well as a printed amber brick. The second small build is a very simple display stand for the printed UCS-style plaque, and the exclusive Dennis Nedry figure. The printing is superb, and it has the correct yellow logo, unlike the 2019 Jurassic Park gate set, which had a red logo. His name tag is also inside his shirt, which is more accurate than the 2023 figure, which came with the last depiction of this Jeep. His alternate face has a relieved look, but is missing his glasses, so presumably from after he fell down, but before he was attacked. He's holding a stick to throw for the Dilophosaurus and a printed Barbasol can, which looks wonderful. But it does seem to be largely identical to the one from 2023. Luckily, the stand has a little place to store his headgear, since he also comes with hair, in case you prefer that to the hood. Both side builds make use of this new 8x8 round plate, and it looks very useful for mocks. Since neither one is actually part of the Jeep, you can harvest them while keeping the car on display. Speaking of that 2023 set, I have it here. It highlights a bit of an oversight with this new large-scale Jeep. There's a character missing. This beautiful Dilophosaurus has only appeared in 3 sets, and only once in this colour scheme. Can you believe a $20 playset has an exclusive figure which its larger counterpart is missing? Maybe they lost the molds? If you think back to the first wave of Jurassic World sets over 10 years ago, you may remember the oversized Dilophosaurus, which was actually just the raptor body with a different head. Obviously far too large for minifigures, but if we put her in here, she looks about right for this car. Problem solved. Back to the car. Let's take a look at it in a finished state. It absolutely dwarfs the other 2 official Jeeps LEGO produced in 2023, and in fact, it's now the largest JP Jeep in my collection. The shape of it is a little wide and a little squat, but it's generally accurate, and there is a ton of clever part use. The wing mirrors hang from paint rollers, and the windscreen wipers are Harry Potter wands. I wish the 7-slot grille was angled slightly like the real one, but it's a fairly subtle angle and may not have been possible at this scale. On a Jeep, the actual bonnet extends over the side. That's what these pneumatic T-junctions represent. They're latches to keep the hood down while you're driving. Except on this model, they stay in place when you open the hood. LEGO does get some bonus points though, because the engine bay has a strut you can use to keep the hood up. Inside the engine bay, we have a pretty good representation of the iconic 4-litre straight 6, and a ton of these rubber tubes to make it look suitably complex. The winch is simple, but it's fine. The hook is annoying to attach to the housing, and it often falls off. I wish there was a way to either hook it on a stud or lock the spool to prevent it from doing this. Closing the hood and glossing over the egregious colour matching of the sticker, let's open the roof and take a closer look at the interior. There's no way to put this gently, the seats are the wrong colour. Wrangler Sahara seats were green, not grey. The small Jeep 18 from 2023 actually did have a green interior, so it's a really weird mistake to make on the big one. It's not even a colour correction thing either. You can see the green colour clearly in daylight scenes. Oh, I should probably explain the colour correction. The Jeeps used for the movie were sand beige, and the red stripes and logos were applied on top of that factory colour. However, the movie was colour graded quite aggressively, and they ended up appearing light grey. Almost all toys and collectibles depict them as light grey, and some full-size replicas do too, including mine. But as you can see from this photo of the screen-used Jeep 29 prop, it's definitely beige, not grey. Looking at the wheels and tyres, they're a good size, and I appreciate the effort to create the 5-spoke rims. This is probably as best as they could do without a new part. The steering works well, though there's a lot of slop in the mechanism. However, having driven one of these Jeeps in real life, being able to steer this much without changing direction is completely normal. I worry about longevity, however, as turning it requires a fair amount of force, which is translated through the famously delicate universal joints. I've been showing bits and pieces of my Jurassic collection throughout this video, so let's rebuild this car to Jeep 10 to see how it looks next to the biggest things I have. Jeep 10, of course, is the car which Ellie Sattler and Robert Muldoon used to search for the missing people, finding Malcolm with a broken leg and then getting chased away by Rexy. It includes storage crates which sit on the sides and a brick-built Maxa-beam flashlight. Inside the crates there are tools, Dr. Grant's raptor claw, and a duck, referencing the ducks Jeep people like to collect. There's no official instruction on how to depict it with the broken windscreen, but it's made from Lego, so it's not that difficult to figure out. The plaques on both the large-scale LEGO T-Rexes state a length of 13.5 meters, which would make the fleshy one 1:20 scale and the bony one 1:12 scale. So compared to the 1:10 scale car, they're both undersized. Looking at the one time the car and animal directly interact, the skeleton looks a little big actually, so someone's scale is wrong somewhere. Regardless, they look fantastic on display together, especially with this sticker on the mirror. Jeep 18 and 29 are the other two cars which can be built, and they are the most similar to one another, basically being the same as 12 but with no roof and no lights. This compares very favourably to the smaller one from 2023, though it makes me wish this set had more minifigures to swap out on the display stand, depending on which car you build. I would have chosen Grant with wonky sunglasses for 18, Hammond for 29, and Muldoon for 10. That would be a great opportunity to make a new, better Muldoon figure. It fits in beautifully with non-LEGO display items, even comparing favourably to die-cast models. I wish I had a bigger T-Rex, but given how large dinosaurs were, 1:10 is a rare scale to find them in. In conclusion, this is a worthy replica of an iconic car. It's satisfying to build and feels worth the money when you hold it. The fact it only comes with a single minifigure is disappointing, but at least the figure it does come with is excellent. The stickers are less so, and in my opinion are unacceptable on a set this expensive. Would that prevent me from buying it? Definitely not. Nor would it stop me from wanting the other iconic Jurassic Park vehicle at such a large scale. Do you agree? Do you disagree? I look forward to talking about it with you in the comments. Like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you want to see more LEGO content. And maybe I'll see you again later.